I'm going to share with you what I got taught from a mentor that I wish I got taught a long time ago, because this completely transformed not just my business, but actually my life. Now, this is pretty cool and I'm perfectly biased, but what we're going to do in this episode is we're going to turn your business from this into this. As, let's be perfectly honest, you're working so hard, you're doing so many different things, you're wearing all the different hats in the business, and the big problem is with all this work, you're not getting the traction that you want, you're not getting the results that you want. That's why in this episode, I'm going to share with you what I got taught from a mentor that I wish I got taught a long time ago, because this completely transformed not just my business, but actually my life. And if we're meeting for the first time, I'm Chris Dufay and I help you build the body, business, and life that you love. So let's break this down right now. The way that your business is currently running is really like this, where it's slow, it's hard, it feels like you're trudging through mud, there's so many different things going on, it's disorganized, and you're just not getting the results that you really want. And the big problem with that is there's only a certain amount of hours in the day, which means there's only a certain amount of work that you need to do. And look, if you're like me and so many of the other members, you're a dad, you're running the business, you want to actually live a life, you want to take care of yourself, there's plenty of responsibilities, there's plenty of things that you need to do that's not just in your business, but overall in life as well. That's why when it comes to designing your business, what we need to do from today, what I want to share with you and want to help you do from this episode is actually design the business for you to be able to get the best impact, for you to create the results with your customers and clients, and for you to be able to get the life that you want, doing really the only work that you should be doing. And this is where it comes down to is you need a pit crew, you need a team. Now, this isn't just necessarily team members, because if you're just starting off, maybe it's just you doing all the work in your business right now and you're feeling like it's a bit of a stretch. If you wanted to bring a team member in, you might not have that income to be able to put into that. That's okay. What we can also look at is what automation do you need to start putting it through? Because the biggest thing that we need to look at right now is, number one, what is your zone of genius? And number two, what is it that you actually need to be doing for your business to grow? This is one question that so many people, I feel when I first ask, get really stuck up on. They don't know the answer. What is the one or two things that you really need to be doing that is actually income producing into the business? Because if you start going off and doing other things, if you start writing blogs, posting on Instagram every single day, going and doing videos, maybe you go start doing some podcasts, maybe you go start doing the 101 other things that you could be doing. The big problem with that is you can lose focus on what is actually the income producing tasks. And that's where you need to answer those two questions. What's your zone of genius? What is it that you're really good at? And two, what really is needed for you to be able to produce the income, for you to get clients, build the business that you want right now? Now, this brings me to my second point, which is how do you actually figure this out, Chris? Because if you're thinking that, that's a damn good question. So what you need to be able to do, and this is a transforming exercise, for the next 7 days, all you need to be able to do, whether you have a pad and pen, whether you keep a notes in your phone, is you just need to write down what are the tasks that you're actually doing? What is it that you're actually doing to run your business? Every single member that I've given this task to is been transforming. It's been eye-opening for them to actually figure out what is it that they're spending so much time on and having all the different array of things that they're doing, because there is from this point that you can figure out where you need to do an 80-20 analysis, which is simply what is the 20% of things that you should be doing that is bringing 80% of your results. So you can start focusing on the few things that are the biggest income producing tasks and seeing where you might be actually just wasting your time and what you can actually completely take off. Because what we need to think about right now is all the different tasks that you're doing. Can you delegate it? Which means, can you get a team member? Can you automate it? Can you put some sort of systems and automation in? Or can you delete it? Can you actually stop doing that so you can put the time, effort, money, and resources into the other things that really count? Now, this brings me to the next step, which is how do you actually figure out what's missing in your business right now? What is it that you need to be doing? Because what the biggest problem is, so many of you entrepreneurs, online business builders, whether you've been in the game for a little while or whether you're just starting out, is you could be putting your time, effort, money, and resources, exactly what we're talking about in this episode, into the wrong things. This is why we use the genius model. This model that I learned from Simon Bowen is genius, hence the name, but it makes it so simple for what to do. Now, what we've actually done, I just recently recorded a full session breaking this down step by step, and I'll pop a link below for you to get access into this. But what it is that we can do from this is just to say, any coaching business has to do three things. You have to attract leads, you have to convert the leads into clients, and you have to deliver great results to your clients. Pretty simple, three things. But then what does each of these things actually break down into? Now, one of the key things, especially let's say, how do you turn leads to clients or to new customers, is we need to add automation into it, because you can't be doing the heavy lifting in your business for absolutely everything. And this is where once you figure out and go, okay, let's just use the traffic light example. Is it green? You have this in place, it's working, it's doing a great job. Is it orange? It's there, it's not really working, it's not getting the great results you need to optimize it and make it better. Or is it red? Maybe you're just completely missing something out from this and you really need to put it back in. When you look at these 9 factors of how a business works, then you can realize, okay, red, I don't have these things. Orange, I need to fix these things. Green, good. Let's have green lights all around this, because then we can take the steps from knowing what's missing in your business right now, then going into, okay, what do we need to do to make sure that we have green lights everywhere? Now it comes to another really big factor, and this is something that I learned from James Schramko, and this is genius. This is something that we all need to be doing, and that is any task that is done more than once, you need to have an SOP, a standard operation procedure. You need to have some systems in place with the business. So look at all the tasks that you're doing from the point that I've just given you before. Then look at what are you actually doing more than once? Because if you're doing it more than once, write it out, because the biggest thing that you can do now is start to systemize it, start to streamline what it is that you're doing in the business. 1, making sure that you can actually do a better job of what you're doing. 2, making sure that you save yourself time. And 3, then making sure that you can pass that on to somebody else, because you want to be able to look at the 3 things. Can you delegate it? Can you systemize it? Or automate it? Or do you need to actually delete it off? Because think of it right now, going back to the analogy of your pit crew. So looking at your pit crew, all you need to be able to do is, do you need a designer? Do you need a web developer? Do you need someone to help with your social media? What about a video editor? What about someone doing the publishing for your social media? Do you need someone to help you write? What about your copywriting? What about your financials? What about someone actually doing your cooking, cleaning, the actual stuff that's in your life right now that you could then take away to open up more free time? Because this is the thing, it's not like work-life balance right now, it's what is it that you could be doing and freeing up and making sure that your entire life and how the business run best optimized, best engineered for you to be able to get the greatest results. And finally, one big kind of mindset, mind-blowing aspect for me was when you have a project, an action, a problem come into the business, not answering it with how do I do it, but who does it? This was a big change in your mindset with the way that you can actually build your business. Because if you're constantly trying to figure out how do you fix that problem, then you're always the roadblock. You're always the person that's in the way of getting the results. If a problem comes in, a task comes in, and you can say, who does this? Then you can start to delegate. And again, I want to come back. I want to cut the shit with where we're at. Let's completely cut the shit, because I understand as well, if you don't have the money right now, you're starting small and you can't just start bringing in at least 1 team member, 2 team members to start delegating that stuff out. That's perfectly fine, but at least know that's where you want to build to. Look at the long term, because one of the biggest things that you can start to do right now, and I truly believe is why so many people are failing, or at least not doing so great, is because they're not having a long-term success view. They're wanting too much short-term gratification. They want cash clients right now, and they're not thinking, how do I build a business that is thriving? How do I build a life that I love that's 5, 10, 20 plus years down the track as well? So what I'll do is I'll pop a link below to make sure you get access to the full recording to know what steps you're missing inside of your business. And if you have any questions, I'm doing this show, I'm doing these episodes to give you the answers. Comment below, and I'd love if you could click like and share this out as well. And as always, thank you so much for being here with me, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode.
Now, this is where I want to make sure that you get the most out of being here, and I want to hear from you. So if you've enjoyed this episode, click like and make sure I can send you the new episodes each and every week. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Also, I really want to make sure that I'm giving you exactly what you need. So comment below. I want to know what you're going to take away from this episode. And the best conversations after every episode always happen in the Breaking Success Tribe. I'll pop a link below for you to join the free group so you get access to the guides, the live streams. I'm in there answering your questions personally each and every day, plus you get all the episodes as well. So thank you so much for being here and joining us. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next episode.